you stand for the flag and pass. You may be seated.
On behalf of the United States Marine Corps and the service veterans of Northern California Volunteer Honor Guard, it is my honor to present you with these shell casings representing the rifle volleys performed here today. The 3 rifle volleys, duty, honor, country, signify that your loved one has left the field of battle for the final time and is now at rest. May you find comfort in knowing that their faithful service, honorable character, bravery, and sacrifice will never be forgotten. They are buried with honor. May they rest in peace.
Thank you. Now that the floor is open, I believe we have 3 family members wanting to say something.
Good morning, beautiful morning for this event. This is a reading from Matthew 20:28. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others, and to give his life as a ransom for many. You know, Rich was a instrument of peace. You all hear, you all know that. And hope, and these are found in these words. Many of you guys may have heard this one. Where there is despair, let there be hope. Where there is darkness, let there be light. Where there is sadness, let there be joy. And for all thy mercy's sake, O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to be consoled. To be understood as to be understand. To be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Okay.
That was very nice.
Thank you, Ron. I'm Kelly Richards' daughter. Richard O'Connor, 76, was born August 13, 1945, and died April 16, 2022. He was born and raised in Martinez, California, to Carmen and Dick O'Connor with his younger sister, Kathleen Slater, and many relatives close by. He graduated from Alhambra High School in 1963, received an AA degree from Diablo Valley College. Richard loved music and learned to play the guitar at an early age from his dad, who used to play in a country western band, wrote his songs, and was a gifted singer. He would play his guitar and sing at school assemblies, team up with his sister to sing at local events, joined a popular rock band, Jack and the Rippers. In college, he brought his guitar. Popular rock band, Jack and the Rippers in college, and brought his guitar with him to Vietnam. 40 years later, he would write a book entitled War Guitar about his experiences during the war and the impact his songs had on his fellow Marines. As a boy growing up, he went fishing, hunting, and abalone diving with his dad, uncles, and family friends. He played football, swam on the swim team, and lifted weights. After returning wounded from Vietnam with 3 Purple Hearts, he went to work for PG&E, met and married Terry Slater in May of 1969. After a year of courtship, they welcomed their son Patrick the following year while living in Martinez. They outgrew their tiny house and bought a house in Pittsburgh. Patrick attended Pittsburgh schools, and Richard was very involved in coaching Patrick's various recreational teams and was an active parent in his Pittsburgh swim team for 12 years. During this time, while working for PG&E for 40 years in the gas department, he continued in exercise regime. Started in his teens, began training and running marathons, serious abalone diving while camping at Albion and Van Dam, making knives, collecting Gibson and Martin guitars, biking the back roads throughout the county, reading New York Times bestsellers, books, barbecuing incredible ribs, boating on the Delta, watching and going to his favorite teams, games, the 49ers and SF Giants. 13 years after Patrick, the couple was blessed with the birth of their daughter Kelly, married to Levi Robertson. Once again, the family needed more room and moved to their current home, Antioch. Being a previous marathon runner, he enjoyed watching Kelly's track and cross-country meets in high school and college. Both children inherited his love for music, singing and playing guitar. Their home was filled with music. Richard watched as Patrick became a talented guitarist and was happy to see Kelly blossom as a singer with the Pittsburgh Rainbow Curliers gospel choirs. Richard often played for weddings, retirements, anniversaries, funerals, taught music to Terry's third grade class, led songs around the campfire at Point Reyes, and he was so proud to play the national anthem at the veterans events. He suffered many years with PTSD and physical ailments resulting from the Ancient Orange and traumatic brain injuries. He received counseling at the Vet Center in Concord and medical attention at Martinez VA. As part of his therapy, he sang and played guitar for returning wounded soldiers coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan at Travis Air Force Base Hospital. Richard was excited to meet up with his Charlie Battery Vietnam Marines after 40 years at the reunion in Washington State, and then attended larger reunions in Washington, D.C. and South Carolina. He spent many hours making tapes and CDs for them with songs he sang for them in Vietnam. Terry and Richard hosted many Christmases at their home, inviting friends and family. They celebrated 50 years of marriage 3 years ago on the cruise in Alaska. He was a great dad to Patrick and Kelly, but his grandson, little Levi Richard Robertson. His grandson, Levi Richard Robertson, was the light of his life. Levi was named after his grandpa Richard, and the new grandparents rented a place in Angels Camp in 2016 for 6 years to be close to him. Richard loved spending countless hours singing and playing guitar with him, going on walks and spoiling him. Richard was remembered as a talkative, funny, caring, loving, creative food lover, generous, hardworking, musical, strong, had no sense of direction. Husband, dad, grandpa, brother, uncle, cousin, brother-in-law, fellow freedom friend. He will be missed and will hold a special place in our hearts forever.
Thank you, Kelly. Nice.
That was very beautiful.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeff Jewell. I'm a retired director with the VA. I finished my career at the Concord Vet Center, where I was first a counselor, and I met Richard. And a couple of things come to mind. One of the first things I asked Richard about Vietnam is I said, do you have any regrets about serving in Vietnam? And I swear to God, he looked me straight in the eye and he said, oh my God, Jeff, I'm a musician. I missed the Summer of Love in San Francisco. I said, okay. I mean that was Richard in a nutshell. Couple of things come to mind. The name, I'll never forget the name, Jerome Colrose. Jerome Colrose. I always had problems pronouncing that, but I always remember Jerome. Jerome Colrose, he says to me, one of the things that we were doing in therapy was we were trying to connect him with, he hadn't spoken to anybody that he served with in Charlie Battery in Vietnam. And so he kept saying Jerome Colrose, Wisconsin. So he finally told me the name of this little town in Wisconsin. Well, I'm from Wisconsin. And I said, well, that's a small little town there, you know, and I said, I think it was like Wabanan or something like that, some crazy Indian name. There's a lot of, and I said, there can't be too many Jerome Colroses in Wisconsin. So I got on the phone and I called it, and I called, and the operator gave me this number, and I called, and the woman goes, and I said, well, you know, I'm calling for Richard O'Connor. And Richard looks at me and he goes, no. Tell him he's looking, tell him that O's calling him. I guess that was his nickname in Vietnam, was O. He said, and they shortened O'Connor to O. And I said, ma'am, I have someone in my office that your husband served with in Vietnam. His name is O. And she goes, oh my God. Here's his number, he's in Milwaukee right now, he's got something, you know, she said, call him right now, you know, and I called him, and I put Jerome and Richard on the phone, and stepped out of my office. They hadn't talked to each other in probably 45 years, and it was one of the most amazing things. I just kinda slowly closed my door, and I stood in the lobby listening to him, laughing and talking for like over an hour. It was one of the most amazing connections that I ever made as a therapist with the VA. So I'd like to think that Terry and Kelly and Patrick, I'd like to think that when he finally stepped forward and started to talk about Vietnam, that he was able to find some peace. Okay, I'm gonna just say this, I loved him dearly. I was there when he played for the wounded, coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan at Travis Air Force Base. Amazing, there was a young Marine that had been hit by a mortar and had all kinds of pins and everything, and open wounds in his leg. They made him gown up, and they even made him put on gloves and everything, because it all had to be sterile. And he still managed to play the guitar for the young Marines, you know? That's just who he was. I'd like to read a little something that I think is appropriate at this time. This moment is sacred with the most visible presence of the one who has gone before. We come to honor the memory of one who offered his life in the service of our country and who has now enrolled in the Great Spirit Army. And I'm going to change that to the Great Marine Corps. Whose footfalls cause no sound, but in memory of mankind, their souls will go marching on at this great national cemetery. Sustained by the pride of service in time of war, because of our lives are free, because of our nation's lives, because of him, the world is blessed. May his service deepen our reverence for all of our departed comrades. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was a little bit, sir. Your loved one will be interred by 4 p.m. today, so that you can come back and visit. We are open 365 days a year, from sunrise to sunset, so at any of those times you can come visit your loved one. Again, it's our honor serving our veterans and their loved ones. I would like to give my most heartfelt condolences on behalf of myself and my team. And I bid you fair travels and luck on your future endeavors. And this concludes the service. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. Hey, Angie.
Sorry.